Gaming. I'm Kaz, joined here by Corbeck, and we're about to head into game number 10 on Villa. It's going to be Team Ignition versus BEEG Yoshi.
BEEG Yoshi. Yeah, no, I had the pleasure of seeing them. Actually, not BEEG Yoshi. I saw the pleasure of seeing Ignition play the other night, and unfortunately, they were kind of plagued by connectivity issues caused, but they shaped up. They did quite well, actually, against a very strong Revenge Nation team, given everything that was happening with them. And they also played Villa. So they've had some experience with this map so far this week. They've kind of put themselves through their paces here, for lack of a better word, and going back into the territory now, assuming Reflex's internet holds, they're in pretty good shape, I imagine.
Hopefully so. We don't want to see any more disconnects. Hopefully it's a good, normal game, but head into the ban phase. Got Ignition on defense first and Yoshi on offense. Thatcher ban, pretty standard, especially for someone like Villa. I'm curious if we'll see anything interesting, but probably not.
No, he's never coming out, is he, really? Especially not on a map where it requires you to hold some hard walls and study. That having a Thatcher makes significantly easier. And they're Jackal there as well, Cause. And it's standard. I think we saw very similar bans last night, actually, with Villa.
We're not breaking any ice here or doing anything very new. Simple Thatcher Jackal ban. Feels like a ranked game, but it's not quite.
Valkyrie going down there. Not a bad choice, really, right? The Black Eye cams providing a lot of value. There are some run out opportunities on this map if you choose to take them, and just generally, denying that intel as per usual. And then we'll see kind of what the final choice is going to be here. It's Mira. So yeah, not exactly cutting edge bands, but old and reliable maybe is the better word there, Cause.
Yeah, that's a fair way to put it. Nothing super surprising, but Valkyrie definitely smart, especially on this map. Like, it's very easy to hide cams in so many places, so neither team really wants to deal with that.
No, definitely not. And I mean, there's nothing more annoying, right, than getting scanned a couple of times by a Black Eye and having just no idea where it is. It forces you to start considering things like an IQ as well. But we can see here Ignition starting on the defense, and they're bringing an Alibi here to start on Aviators games. And oh no, there'll be a 6-pick out to a Maestro. So yeah, maybe will they, won't they? Playing a little back and forth there. Maestro would probably be a little bit more of a sensible choice, but okay, it'll be a mute in the end, and that's a sensible choice as well, really, isn't it?
Yeah, last second change seemed like they were trying to bait us with the Alibi, just as you said it. Caster's Curse as usual, but smart to change into the mute instead of the Maestro. Maestro's obviously good, but before that, they actually had no wall denial, which is pretty important for AVG.
Yeah, no wall denial would have been a nightmare, considering that study is such an important point to hold. It's not Reflex this time. We're being told as we wait in the lobby for it to load in. Again, shades of that game from last night here, Cause, where it took pretty much a good 2 minutes for us to load into any particular stage here or site here on Villa, and hopefully not going to be the case as we continue forward. Other than that, I don't think there's really too much to say about the setups here. They're all pretty standard. Legion maybe a bit different than some people would go with here, but still a very solid operator with a very useful utility that doesn't get any less useful here, especially if you're trying to deny or at least be aware of pushes coming in from master bedroom trophy area.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Legion, smart pick, and is one of those operators that we can see no team needs to bring on any site, but he's just good to have in general. And if you have a free spot, he's good to go. And looks like we're about to finally loading in.
There we go. Somebody got their hamster running double speed, powered it up or whatever they've got. They've got a steam engine. They're feeding coal into their tower as we speak. But anyway, we will get started here on our first round. It is best of one series for those of you who haven't been watching the rest of the games today. Maybe you're joining us from some of the other Siege content that was going on, but we'll see what the setup is, and they might actually leave this wall in the study soft. We saw them try something similar actually last night. A lot of teams have started doing this, where they'll leave that one wall soft and see if they can kind of blow some holes in it and use it as an opportunity to get a quick peek. Risky strat, though, all things considered, cause, especially if you don't put a shield back in vault. Some people do that as well, but that may be an option here. Talor might be thinking about that, or he might just be redecorating with the shotgun.
Making the traditional rotate line of sight, but yeah, that one hole in the wall going into study is definitely interesting, and it's smart. They reinforced the wall next to it, and oh, never mind, because I was saying that early pick from Chlamydia onto Reflex, that is not the start you want to see, especially the Legion. Oh, that's got to hurt for Team Ignition, because that is just an operator that gets stronger the more time goes on, but losing him early, not what you want.
Indeed, and they've actually already taken Master Bedroom and Trophy. No hesitation here at all. Reflex lying dead in the hallway. Oh, they'll add another one. Mystic goes down. Oh, and Ignition getting a little bit rocked here on this first round.
We are 2 minutes in, and already Team Ignition have lost 2 of their members, and also 2 players you really don't want to lose. Sounds like we've got the mute bug, but it's all right. We can move past that. So far, Yoshi is on a great start.
They are on a great start here, and it'll be a continued push up here as well. The bank having to cover this back angle, and Kjax will be coming around on the loop, but is it too little, too late? Ow! Ooh, Kjax just annihilated, and again, they really can't seem to get any traction here, if we're being honest.
Shut down quickly by Z. Looks like they know everything, but actually the peak from Thor actually gets him on 90, and the defenders are in a better spot now as only 3 attackers left. Looks like Panda's going to be going in for the plant as he's got cover from everywhere, but actually a nice long shot from Debank, but shut down quickly and left in a post-plant situation. Smoke is going to have to make a lot here and actually loses the fight to Chlamydia. A good first round by Yoshi, and really Team Ignition look absolutely stunned by this quick play.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I feel like that was very much the defenders' round to lose, considering how, or the attackers' round to lose, and they don't, and maybe a little bit of a misstep there by the smoke. You would expect, if you still had a smoke alive, Talor to throw maybe 1 cartridge over towards vault door. I don't think it takes Napoleon to figure out where they're going to put their plant right there. And it looks as though we might do a rehost here just to get rid of that pesky mute sound bug, which I'm sure you can still hear. I can very much still hear it in my ear. It won't go away.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's all right. They didn't even have a mute the second round, so just that first one. It still persists.
Yeah, the bug that will not die. It continues to go like a cockroach, really, after a nuclear explosion. Might have to restart the entire game here, actually, and we will get the client back up. So just a second's delay here, ladies and gentlemen, as we wait to rotate that one back in, and hopefully we take you back to the action as quickly as possible. But I mean, it was an interesting first round. They really did not have a strong roam presence in one of the most stereotypical kind of attack angles that you see on Villa, the push through Master Bedroom and Trophy. It was almost as if the Legion, I think it was Reflex, got there a little too late and was kind of caught looking by how quickly the attackers came in. I'm not sure exactly how that initial pick went down, but that was just the feeling that I got given where his body was positioned.
Yeah, I think you're right. He might have been going for a bit of a loose roam, but even then, even if he was going to roam, they still had their setup was very much focused on the site with barely any extension, and Team Yoshi just capitalized very quickly on it.
They did capitalize quickly. There was a rapid flurry of kind of 2 really big impact kills, like you said at the beginning, and then suddenly they were just assaulting the site. And if we're being honest, I actually think that those 2 early kills kind of resulted in some of the deaths that they had later on, just because it gave them such a confidence boost that they kind of pushed, they face checked down hallway to billiards and were met with, what you would expect, which is a smoke hiding behind a shield. And it counted for at least one of them.
I totally agree. Those first 2 kills, I'd say, really actually won them the whole round, because after losing 2, Team Ignition was just trying to play catch up, and so they had a player trying to flank pretty predictably, and they just got shut down. And then in a 2v5, there's really not much they could do, and they tried their best, but couldn't do much.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is just the way it goes sometimes, but hopefully a bit of a lesson learned. I mean, Villa is one of these maps that I think people say is, and probably truthfully so, very heavily defender sided or leaning heavily defender sided, let's say. But you do see a couple of interesting or different ways of handling that Aviator Games Room defense. And I genuinely, when I saw those initial picks coming out, cause I thought we were going to see a hard study rush. And they kind of tricked us a little bit there because qualification just came, or was it qualification? Oh, qualamidia.
I struggled to say it too. I didn't know how.
Koala Koalamidia. There's a joke there actually, cause I hate to like continue rambling here, but koalas have like a massive problem with chlamydia. I'm not
Okay.
even kidding. It like kills a bunch of koalas every year. Like I think it's like 50% of the koala population has this aggressive form of chlamydia.
Really, I did not know that, but
See, we're learning.
yeah.
We're the things every day, and actually, apparently, they can give it to humans if they pee on you. I've been told as well, but
Oh,
I've only ever been to Australia once, and I did not get peed on by a koala, so I cannot. I can neither confirm nor deny these rumors, but it is a funny name nonetheless.
I'm glad that
Very
you had to
creative.
verify that you weren't peed on by a koala. Maybe peed on by something else, but
You never know. It's Australia, mate. It's a wild time. Weird,
Australia is
weird stuff.
crazy.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. But anyway, it looks like we do have our lobby back up here, so you won't have to hear us rambling for too much longer. Just plug into the bands and then we'll get back to the match. And it was a 1-0 in favor of the attackers. So BEEG Yoshi they're getting the initial round win and just getting their R's, and we'll be right back at it. I assume Ignition goes back to Aviator Games Room, or do you think they try a little swap over to Trophy and just see what happens?
Honestly, if it wasn't for the pause, I'd expect them to go quickly back because oftentimes when a team loses and loses a site so quick and hard as they just lost it with that sort of man disadvantage, they decide to go right back because they think they can do something better. But it actually looks like they're going to be going there again. So yeah, they do believe that they can play better, but hopefully they have a bit of a better setup this time. Bringing the Wamai will probably help.
The Goyo as well. Goyo probably just to throw I assume to throw a shield in vault if they're going to do that same soft wall strat again that they showed us last time. That being said, prepping for the balcony push, the balcony study push, I don't know if that is necessarily where you want to throw all your eggs, because they're sort of gambling on the idea, at least with this initial look, and we'll see maybe a little bit more as we get the setup in here. It looks like we're again having to get somebody's hamster to run, but it's a bit of a gamble, right, to invest a lot of resources. It's such a difficult thing because you can't leave it with nothing, right? You don't want to just bet on them coming in bedroom and then get a hard rush in through the study door. But at the same point in time, if you really invest everything that you have towards blocking study, you run the risk of getting around like the one we saw last time, which is where the enemy team just aggro's very hard through the other side of the map, and suddenly you're neck deep in attackers and you don't really know what to do. But we'll see in a second, I think.
Yeah, they're going to be looking to do something different this time, and Reflex probably going to try and not get picked off quite so early.
You would hope, especially now that he's on Wamai. I was gonna say actually, now that he's on Wamai, because the longer he stays alive, the more value he adds. But the same thing could actually be said of Elysian as well. So not really that different there. But hopefully, yeah, we won't see him get taken out right away. They have basically gone for all the projectile denial you could ever want, which is kind of interesting considering that I feel like BEEG Yoshi was not relying too heavily on attacking util or even attacking projectiles. Did we even see an ash charge or anything from the Sophia lifeline? I don't recall. I don't think we ever saw it on camera. It
I
could
don't
very
think
well
we
have happened.
did. And yeah, there definitely wasn't much utility usage. I don't think we even saw any main walls get opened up. And so Ignition going for the utility is definitely interesting. And on Yoshi's side, they've actually got every single operator has a form of throwable utility that they can use to either waste ADSs or destroy things like Goyle shields.
Yep.
So strategy might not work as well for Team Ignition as they're hoping, but maybe
They're
their
kind
realm
of
will be able to catch up for that.
They're also kind of splitting their Goyo Shield presence here. So you saw Mystic throw his Goyo Shield down, facing out towards the top of red stairs right there. And then they are opening up that soft wall. I would entirely expect them to put a shield in vault. Now, if they don't do that and just make me look silly, it wouldn't surprise me, but that would be the sensible thing. And then they have another shield here. So they've invested 2 of their 3 shields to protect this study entrance, and on top of that, they've whacked 2 ADSs down there as well. Again, an attack angle that their opponents did not even bother with last time, and it looks very much like they won't even be bothering it with it again, because I think they're all coming in through the other direction. So they've just essentially rendered 3 critical pieces of utility absolutely useless by pushing this way.
So far, it seems like a pretty strong repeat. As Zio might be. Oh no, the Moosey's downstairs. I thought he was about to get an easy kill, but actually one working them up on the stairs, and they're quite close to the first engagement. The roam doesn't really look like it's working the best. They're able to get some drones, but Big Yoshi is just encircling the defenders like sharks and looking to strike.
Yeah, definitely playing that kind of more aggressive style of Wamai too. Some people will hold that Wamai back as more of an anchor to just try and get all 4 magnets out and protect the site. Not doing that here. Koala Midia, though, taking about 75% damage right there from an explosion. Did, I think, destroy what I assume is a Goyo shield in the process. Oh, Panda Fu goes down as well. So a little bit more sterner stuff here this time.
Yeah, not the best start to this round. As Team Yoshi have already lost most of the health on 2 of their people, and Sophia's also loses some health. This is really not looking good for the HP side, as both the Sledge and the Nomad are really on low health, and Mystic strikes onto Zio. That's their Ash down, and this round is looking much better for Team Ignition.
Yeah, they've done a very good job of kind of reshaping their defense. I say that Kjax gets killed on the roam once again. Tech now has come all the way over. Oh no, you're all yours.
I was just saying that actually I don't remember what I was saying now, but it doesn't matter. It's moving into the last 50 seconds, and DeBank gets a kill onto Tech. That's the ace, and definitely leaves the defense in a better position now, as they're pretty well set up. We see all the 3 members of Big Yoshi swarming around this landing area, where they'll be looking to make seems like a pretty similar push and possible attempted plant behind the vault door, but that Goyle shield will probably stop it. And also we've got the Jaeger playing in study. He'll be able to swing from that door and slow them down.
Yeah, just peeking hard on that angle. Okay, be a bit careful, boys. Oh no! Right to the front door and dead already.
At least he didn't shoot his teammate, but he's down, and there's only 1 member left, and he managed to get 1, but DeBank shuts them both down. Smokes as well, doing a lot of damage, and there was really nothing for them to do there.
Yeah, unfortunately, when they kind of lost their pinch, they all sort of tried to push in through one very small door, and I feel like the results were probably about what we would expect in that scenario, especially with the smoke still alive with, I think it was all 3 smokes ready to go. You saw Tech did try and open up a little bit of a crossfire, did not succeed in doing that. There was just too much defenses set up around Study, I think, for him to really get any traction. And now we'll move over to Trophy and Statuary. We'll see how they defend this. No changes in the lineup, pretty much bringing the exact same setup, and they'll be rocking the Goyo again. On the other side, no changes either. So everybody just kind of sticking with what they think works. Tied 1-1 here.
They know what they're like, and they're sticking with it. Yeah, Team Ignition getting that site back, it was definitely a good response after that first round, which looked really dominant. But honestly, I think Yoshi could still do well on offense. They look quite aggressive and really strong in their take. You know, they took all that control of Master and really this whole north side of the map. They took control of it very quick, and there was no flanks or roamers that could really slow them down. So they look solid, at least in terms of their map control gaming.
Yeah, part of the problem I think was that it just seemed like they lost a little bit of their coordination when those two initial picks went down, and they never quite really regained an idea of what they wanted to do. Maybe they lost an IGL or something in there. I don't actually know who kind of fills that role on this team. You'll see here pretty much securing heavily into kind of closet, bathroom. I don't think anything too big or surprising. The Goyo shields being put down in sort of reasonable defensive places, but it'll be a big fight for the Closet Master bedroom as a drone convoy just comes rolling in through the door. This is 3 out of their 5 initial drones, I think, just poured in right there. Is the ADS already getting burned out, at least for the first time?
I will say the one thing Yoshi does really well is they stack together, whether it's with drones or their players, which could come back to bite them if they get hit by a C4. But so far, it's working quite well that they're so close to each other and able to get those refrags. But they just seem to love Master Bedroom. It's where they've attacked every time so far. And they're looking to win it again.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no sort of hard breach denial here on the wall. The impact trick comes flying out, though. Who needs hard breach denial when you've got impact grenades? And that will work at least temporarily. They'll throw another Selma there, determined to get it open. The impact comes out again, but that is it. No more impacts.
The wall will likely be open. The flashes come out to burn the ADS. DeBank looks to be in a risky position. His shield gets destroyed, or actually not destroyed. It gets eaten up by ADS. It's a big fight going on, and the wall, I believe, has now been opened, but that leaves the ace with no charges and only his smoke, so that's quite a loss of utility for them. The impact tricking working out pretty well for Team Ignition, as they're still trying to burn towards Astro, and they know someone's there. Actually, I don't know if they know that he's fallen back, as they have yet to take full control.
Z does appear to be looking at it, but as you said, it's all about utility denial right now. All the frags gone, all the flashes gone here. Finally, a kill coming in at 1 minute into the round. It's been a bit of a slow, cagey start, and let's see if they can kind of finish this out. They don't really have much left in the tank to use in terms of hard utility. They pretty much used everything except for one air jab at this point in time.
Yeah, the impact tricking from Reflex was really good for the ace, because now there's only one hole as frags start to come out from both sides, equalizing or leaving us in a 3v4, I should say. The issue with the Selma is that they can only prone through. Z's making an effort for it. He's able to get one, but DeBank quickly frags back and leaves us in a 2-on-2. Z has actually been downed. I'm not sure who that was by, as he shoots through the soft wall trying to finish him off.
Ooh, it's a nasty angle there from DeBank, way out all the way in the hallway. He gets killed, though. Oh, no. He rotated his whole body across the door and died for it, and the plant will actually go down, and now it's just Reflex here. And a 3v1 situation. Beautiful headshot to start it off. Goes in, gets one more. Look at the man go with the MP5.
Reflex showing that if he's not picked up early, he can really be huge in these rounds, leaving us in a 1v1. It's Reflex versus Panda, the Nomad. I'm not sure if she has any air jabs left. She doesn't, as Reflex got himself onto the fusers. Panda hears him. He's got to hurry, but he'll probably hear this. Reflex hops off, goes for the spray, but Panda shuts him down.
Oh, it was so close, guys. Oh, you can almost taste it. He did a good job with the bait. He just couldn't find a shot off the last gunfight, and especially tragic considering what he came off of right before that. Did a spectacular job getting those 2 kills to even it up. Just could not clutch, and oh well. We can't all clutch all the time. It wouldn't be an interesting game if that was all that ever happened. Or maybe it would be, actually. I'm not sure. But anyway, it'll be back to trophy statuary again, and I don't... K-Jack's coming out on a rook. Okay. Why not?
Just for the impacts. Surprised they wouldn't bring a Mythro or something else.
Nah, it's a 6-pick out. I don't really... Sense. Yeah, just a giant Trojan horse operation there. Meanwhile, Ace is 6-picking an ace.
Big brain plays coming out from both teams.
But yeah, like you said, that last round caused, I think, a lot. The attackers were lucky to win that one, considering how good Ignition was doing in terms of utility denial. We just saw them eat everything. They ate up all the Selmas, they ate up all the frags, the stuns, the flashes. Everything was getting taken out. By the time that were in the position where they had to start making their initial final push, I think some Goyo shields were still standing, and they literally had nothing in the tank but the one Nomad air jab, and even that didn't really get any value for him at the end. It was just down to pure gun skill at the final fight. Kind of crazy, considering how things started there on the last, or on Aviator, and suddenly we're over here and utility is just getting cleared like nobody's business.
Yeah, I think Team Ignition is a really utility-focused team, and the reason we saw that first round go so decisively towards Team Big Yoshi is that they just pushed quickly and just got their kills and really ignored most of the utility. It's when they slow down and actually utility clear that Team Ignition looks a lot better, and they looked a lot better in that last round. It just came down to those gunfights at the end that they couldn't quite win out, and it was a very nice attempt by Reflex, especially getting those tight and nice, two nice headshots, but couldn't quite close it out.
Breaching charge will go in there. Unfortunately, no success on it. I think they're trying to clear that shield, and that one just gets eaten up by the ADS, and that's all the breaching charge is gone.
The shield actually remains through all of that. I don't know how they didn't get down. They've got all sorts of nades and utility, but the shield persists as they're going for the impact tricks again, which will leave a very small hole for them to get through. Which, even though the round didn't go in Ignition's favor, this was one of the better parts. But Reflex actually gets a lot of damage done, doesn't quite get killed. He's still got one impact left, and if he's trying to deny that aces. Oh, I see. They had the two ADSs and the Wamai playing here. That's how they kept it for so long.
Yeah, I think they were actually trying to get those Ash breaching charges down just in front of the shield to maybe not trigger the ADS, but still get the explosion. Did not happen, and now they do have a breach here in the statuary.
Yeah, they don't actually end up impact tricking the rest as they've got full Astro control. Z is in already. What is happening? Ignition doesn't know what's going on as Ash is in, but Reflex actually gets two as they were trying to enter. Ash is still uncontested on site and shuts down Reflex. Even though it's a 2 versus 2 where the defenders need to retake their own site, even though the diffuser has not been downed. DeBank sees one in Master and sprays some shots, but they don't quite have control. Z pushes out. He's on a quad kill looking for the ace as Malusi is hiding in Astro. And he gets it.
Look at that. Dash with the ace. Ah, beautiful.
Z just walking in and completely decimating everyone. There was no one looking towards that Astro rotate, and he just walked in and started clicking heads, and there was really nothing Ignition could do.
Yeah, definitely kind of a soft spot in their defenses and doing a much poorer job that time around of denying that utility. We saw the breaches open. I mean, they ate up the Ash charges relatively well, but outside of that, it was just kind of a disaster in terms of utility clear, kind of very feast or famine in that regard. It's quite strange, but regardless, just what plays from the Ash main there coming in, putting down the shots, getting the picks. It's all you could ever really want, getting the good swings and everything as well. It probably could have been a little bit easier if they had actually taken the time to go back and make sure that Reflex was dead before they all started pouring in, but that's okay. You won in the end, so no need for self-reflection.
Yeah, I think we're seeing again that just like the fragging is really showing up big for BEEG Yoshi because Ignition really likes their utility, and they're playing it well. The utility game has been really good, but BEEG Yoshi's just winning their gunfights, and there's really nothing Ignition can do to stop them.
It does very much feel that way, if I'm being honest. And I mean, that is just something that happens. Occasionally one team will just have the gunfight skill, or at least they had it on that round, and maybe it'll flip back the other way. But BEEG Yoshi has to be pretty pleased with this at the moment. 3-1 on attack on Villa is a scoreline that many an attacking side would basically dream over at the end of the day, because that is something. And now they're going to go for the study aggression, and they're going to go quick.
It's good to see they're changing it up. They're showing that they can do multiple things. This smoke shield actually being set up quite late. If someone had been pushing in there, could have caught him, but the drones doing their due diligence as they catch two people up in top main. So he's going to be working their way up those stairs as we've got the Jaeger actually pushing down, looking to get some drones and fall back. But Ignition really trying to make a stand and not give up their ground so quickly and prove that they can shoot back.
Yeah, looking like they're trying to set up the angle there, just get the shield that went down so late, but they see the Wamai magnet waiting there as well. And you see that long sightline we were talking about just a little bit earlier. Reflex is playing off that great pick there.
Clean peek from Reflex, takes the head right off of the Zofia, and really good start for Team Ignition.
It is a good start indeed, and they're actually holding up this study balcony push quite well. Z now having to force the issue, gets caught by the crossfire on the other roamer, and then he gets caught from the other side on the trade.
Oh no, what a series of unfortunate events. They see one on main stairs, go to look towards him, and then one comes around on the flank. look to the flank, and then the one on main stairs killed him. There's really nothing they could do with a nice pinch movement from Team Ignition. But Koala Midian tries to push up long, but Flora just flicks and turns around on him. It's gonna be a flawless round if Panda is gonna do what he can, but Flora actually says a wow in the chat. He can't even believe that he hit that. Looks like Panda's gonna be retreating to the ruins to hide with the golem hiding in the well.
He's all the way back. He'll just wait to preserve the KD as the smoke comes out there to block it. I mean, what else are you gonna do really in this situation? Just empty your handgun into the air and hope somebody comes and fights you, I think is exactly what he's hoping for, but I don't know if anybody will take him up on the offer here. Still, a very solid defense, kind of what we would expect, much more in line with what we would expect, I think, than the previous things that they pulled here. You saw really good crossfire angles set up, and it was a valid effort for them to try and get in, but really, I don't think they ever felt too particularly fussed as defenders. One of the telling things, I think, is just maybe a little bit of a lack of droning or a lack of clear. I kind of felt when they pushed up to that staircase, they had not sufficiently roam cleared the bottom floor. It does feel a bit silly when you get caught on a flank like that. And then, you know, Devil in the Deep Blue Sea as they just flash themselves into oblivion. But maybe you need like a dedicated droner. Maybe you need to fire those nomad air jabs out faster in a different location. I don't necessarily know what it is, but it just seemed a bit rough.
Yeah, whatever it is, not quite clicking that round. Is Team Ignition really showing signs of life? And that was a much better round from them. They showed some good coordinated aggression, which is really, they started playing quite passively with lots of utility. And that's when Team Yoshi had caught them off guard. So it's good to see them now striking back. And they're going to be looking to equalize this out. A 3-3 split is really not what you want from the defense, but it's also not too bad as it basically makes all the rounds null as we just basically reset and go into the second half. That is if Ignition wins this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, definitely better than what they were looking at initially, and certainly better than a 4-2 on the defense for Villa would be, or 2-4, I should say, would be grim. Maybe they've hit their stride. They have a pretty good idea of what their opponents like to do on this particular site here, Cause. So I would expect them to be able to take the steps to prevent it from working, but you never know. I mean, I legitimately didn't think that we would see BEEG Yoshi try and come in for the study push, and they did. So flexibility is there.
Yeah, it's good to see that they can change back and forth, and they've had really set pushes, one round, or at least I think it was 3 rounds in a row. They push from master every time, and then see them all pivot around towards study is really impressive. Good to see. It looks like we've got a master put again. God, they just all spawn in together. Normally, some teams like to break it up, spawn in different places.
Converge rush.
They just like to spawn the same place and just. I don't know if they're gonna rush, but either way, they take quick controls. I'm actually quite surprised that Team Ignition didn't opt to go to kitchen or anything. Clearly, they feel confident in themselves, even though I believe they've lost this twice now.
They have. One of those was very close, but I still think you kind of have to go trophy statuary. Going to kitchen is a bigger gamble, in my opinion, than playing this site again. Koala Midian already punching a hole pretty much in the exact same spot they did last time. Let the fragging begin.
And Nate actually goes through despite the ADSs and the Wamais, and that's able to get the mute off the wall pretty easily, and I believe get rid of any jammers. So Ace Tech will probably be starting to open up soon. Actually, no, still going for the impact tricks, but the nade pushes him off. I'm not sure if he can get this. Oh, he does actually get it. Each one with the impact tricks. Some nice plays, but still the last Selma goes off. So good utility usage from Team Ignition, but Yoshi perseveres.
I don't think DeBank quite realizes how clear he is right there if he had wanted to push forward. But Z sees the shield in Astro, and again, this was kind of a central part of their last take. Swings! Oh, nothing. And K-Jax will get one to start things off.
Somewhere on the roam, K-Jax managed to pick off the Zofia. That's a powerful operator and a powerful gunner as well, but Panda actually gets one on a reflex. He's down, and he's been a massive performer lately. DeBank looks like he's swinging towards Master Bedroom, and I'm not sure the Nomad is actually trying to cover him, but master bedroom is actually entirely clear except for the nomads, so they might be able to do a bit of a retake as the two members of the offense have actually pivoted towards bathroom, look to be mainly going towards that Astra.
Yeah, they're playing. DeBank is playing very cautiously, and I think it's hurting his team right now. Kjax gets another one on the roam and is finally stopped as he gets the trade. 3-3 situation now, and the pressure on. No real advantage for either side, but the defenders do have some pretty solid sight lines here. Talor still with one smoke grenade left in the tank. Oh, wow. Hello, SMG-11.
Almost looked like a recoil shot, but he got it anyways. That's all that matters. But Qualamidia going in actually gets one with the last bullet, but shut down quickly by Slor. It's all on Panda, and he's going to have to either go for these frags, and he can't do it. Mystic shuts him down. Team Ignition take the round and end just in a 3-3 split. Not the best place, but definitely also not as bad as it could have been.
Certainly stem the bleeding on those last two rounds, because prior to that they were kind of just hemorrhaging. They will even it up. I will say they did a really good job, I think, of defending that site. The defense in depth was very well thought out by them. A lot of times teams, when they fall back like that into one area, or get pushed back, I guess, into one area, run into a situation where they're in deep trouble. They just kind of get pinned and brought down. Not so here. I think Talor did a really good job of sticking to the guns on the smoke, throwing the smokes when they were needed, and just a good consolidation of defense, kind of drawing them in and getting the picks that they needed to find. Now back on the attack, I'm interested to see how this goes. I feel like if you're playing for BEEG Yoshi right now, you're probably still feeling pretty good about yourself, all things considered.
Yeah, taking those 3 offense rounds on a typically defense-sided map like Villa, it's got to have them feeling pretty good, even though it ended in a 3-3, and so they don't have a particular advantage. Just confidence-wise, they're probably feeling really good going into this second half.
Bringing the Mozzie here for the drone denial. They will have a mute as well, so kind of double the drone denial, double the fun. The mute also standing in as their only hard breach denial, should they choose to use him in that fashion. You would think that they would on this site. And then the rest of it is pretty academic, all things considered. They will not be going for as much utility clear, but then again, there's that scramble this time from Ignition, and it's everybody into the master bedroom as quickly as possible, and the devil take the hindmost. A little bit of a rotate.
How you're supposed to play Villa now? They're splitting up now, but everyone just spawns in the same place. I guess that's how they decide to play Villa, but a quick peek from Z actually gets to bank. He is playing aggressive here, and that's something that I'd been looking for Ignition to do during their defense rounds. They knew that BEEG Yoshi had been entering in the same place, and they just let them do it every time. But Z sees it coming, goes for a quick swing, and it didn't look like they did their due diligence joining them out, as the roam game is actually looking quite strong from BEEG Yoshi.
I feel like they definitely should have got that. And there's another one with the C4 from below. And Qualamidia here playing this Astro Stairs, just having a good hold right there. And this master bedroom is looking like the bedroom of death at the moment.
We've had 2 deaths in, or if not in, the near, because the other one was in the bathroom, but still just a dangerous area of the map. And if you're looking to take a nap or use the bathroom, you might want to be careful from below.
Yeah, I hate when I sit down on the toilet and the C4 just blows everything up below you.
Siege is a dangerous place, but this has been a really great defense so far from BEEG Yoshi. Is they've really they're really fighting Team Ignition head on. They're not letting them take any ground for free. They're fighting them every step of the way, and it's working really well so far. And they're actually being quite smart. They got those 2 early kills, but they're not over aggressing now. They're playing smart, so it's good to see that they're not just aimers. They have the brains too.
Another C4 down there, but I don't think they're going to get anything off of that particular one. Panda Fu actually rotating all the way back into study here, so they're really falling back and almost putting themselves in a situation where they'll have to kind of retake the site, but they do have much longer sight lines from the position that they're currently holding. Z just needs to get out of there.
Oh, but shut down by Kjax on long. He was running to get behind the shield, but he could not quite make it. Finally, Team Ignition able to get a frag they needed to get into this round, as they can't quite get rid of the shield. K-Jax dancing back and forth with Tech, who actually has yet to find any kills, but he might be able to find his first there. Playing on the smoke. Is only 20 seconds left for this execute, and Team Ignition just really spraying everywhere, trying to get a pick if they can. The mute as well, spraying. They only have one door they can come through, but Wesley gets in, able to start the plant, but there's nothing he can do. He gets shut to, actually, never mind. He manages to get the mute. Bit of a potato moment, but there's not much he can do with 3 defenders that will collapse on him.
Yeah, that was a really good round in terms of demonstrating Rome and what you expect from Rome in sort of the current world of Siege, right? They got picks, but most importantly, they denied so much time that by the moment when it actually came time for Ignition to push into the site, they had 20 seconds left before they had to get the diffuser down. And you saw the havoc that caused. They couldn't drone. They couldn't clear their corners. They were facing really long sight lines. And almost all of that is down to the roamers and how they played that coming out of that master bedroom. And like you said, Cause, this is what I think I was expecting to see out of Ignition that they didn't really do when they were on the defense. There was never a hard contest, that kind of punch in the mouth when you came in through the doors of master bedroom or closet or bathroom or what have you, when they were on the defense, and BEEG Yoshi not making the same mistake.
Yeah, definitely. That roam was really a perfect demonstration of basically why you roam in Siege and how to do it effectively. Their fraggers, they take a bit of a risk going for stuff like a swing, but as soon as they got that kill, they were falling back immediately. And one kill is huge, but what's even bigger is how much time, as you said, that gave to the defense, as now they had to re-drone everything, looking to make sure that they didn't lose another player like that.
Also, we talked about, but also I don't have any idea what Z was doing when he got trapped in the hallway by billiards. That was terrible. So it wasn't all perfect, but it was pretty darn good. But man, that was a bit awkward. And I did also love seeing Z just scamper out of master bedroom after he got that initial pick, just running for safety. Like, okay, my job's done. Good luck with the rest, guys. Anyway,
and then I don't think he stopped sprinting until
he hit his shield.
Yeah, he was just running like a chicken with his head cut off, even though they had the advantage. And it's like they keep getting these Mozzie pests actually to bank with a nice swing and a nice shot. They clearly had intel, and that's why you can't hold angles in Siege if you're droned out. Peeker's advantage will just do you in.
And it definitely did Koala-Midia in there. But again, another C4 kill from below.
2 rounds in a row. These C4s from below are just totally dismantling Team Ignition. They have no way to fight against it. It's clear that BEEG Yoshi have good intel, but also they must have practiced these C4s. They know where people are going to be taking cover, and they know where people are hiding. The communication game must be on point because they've had some really nice C4s and just general plays. So good to see a team at such a good level of coordination, and I'm not sure if they know that they've got one trapped in the corner. Mystic shuts them down, and their drones have been on point so far.
Yeah, this attack has looked a lot more coordinated just in terms of droning, and you can see they're already setting up to deny any roamers coming in from above. They've done a really good job here so far, but there's no pinch. This is pretty much going to be them coming straight in through the only 2 doors into Trophy, and a lot now going to ride on Tech here. Yikes.
Tries to get the Yana. She throws the nade, does a little damage, but not quite what he was looking for. As the smoke rings out, Mute actually drops down below and could be looking for a big flank, as Bopajuba is looking for that long-term flank. Not sure if BEEG Yoshi knows that's what he's doing. Hopefully they have some flank drones set up, but wall getting opened by Ace. Meanwhile, about 45 seconds left. Z actually gets one onto K-Jax, and Z gets another one. He's just killing everyone as Reflex gets Tech. Z gets a triple kill. He had an ace earlier, and he's going for a quad now as Mystic actually shuts him down, leaves us in a 1v1.
He doesn't have to get aggressive here. He can play this a little bit more cautiously. It'll take a while for Mystic to get the diffuser. The plant will start going down immediately, but it has all the hallmarks of a bait. Oh, Boba Chuba,
He
yeah.
saw him for a second, but he didn't quite know that he saw him.
Oh.
It actually looks like he's rotating down. Oh, he actually got off the diffuser. I did not realize that. I thought he stuck it, but that was very close. And they just seem to be dancing around each other, back and forth and back and forth. This is Boba Juba coming back from the full roam. He doesn't look like the Yana knows, and he actually gets him. I don't know what Mystic was hearing, but he could not hear him behind, and a little bit of a teabag coming through. Boba Juba is very happy about that.
Tactical crouch at the end. Boba Juba, yeah, I think that that was just a complete misread on the part of Yana right there. Swung back, looking at the rotate coming in from, I think, Trophy. Didn't think about the possibility that the mute could just, back up down the stairs and come back in. Part of that might have been because they did have that air jab sitting there. It might have been calmed into their, in the chat. Oh, well, there's an air jab on the stairs, so he probably didn't rotate downstairs. Like, you would have heard it go off or something. And to be fair, I actually really did legitimately think he was going to get caught out by that air jab. He basically just caught the glint of it out of the corner of his eye and was able to destroy it. But I mean, a valiant effort by the attackers, but at the end of the day, just good play and great individual play. I've been talking all this time. We haven't even mentioned Z, who just kind of fragged out of his mind there with the Jaeger and did pretty much most of the backbreaking work on that particular round.
Yeah, it's clear BEEG Yoshi have some really strong players on their team, and it's not all. Yeah, they have some serious gunners, and Z has been obviously at the forefront playing the Ash Jaeger, but showing that the rest of the team can hang just as well and get the kills when they need to. Everyone except for Tech has gotten some kills to their name. Boba, Juba, and Z so far really just leading the way for them.
Here's an interesting thing. Boba Juba actually going to come out on Pulse here, probably to watch the verticality. It's an interesting pick on this point. It does have some viability. There's a couple of different kind of layers at which you can play it. It's just not an operator we see that often, but I mean, on a site like Kitchen, where you do need somebody who basically can make sure nobody's above you going to get the kill, he can be very valuable. Other than that, nothing too mind breaking here on either side, though it is nice to see Mystic coming out on the buck. But again, forsaking the hard breach charge there just in favor of the stun grenades. Okay. Qualamidia is basically holding the exact same spot he did last time and getting bigly punished for it. Z destroyed by K-Jax.
That was a nice wing from K-Jax. Looks like they had some info. Tech gets his first kill with a shotgun, no less. I don't know how he got that at close range. Looks like someone was just looking to walk right in for free, but they did not drone him out, and he just gets a pretty free kill. But I actually like the Pulse pick a lot, going back to what you were saying, because they've been using a lot. Oh, could we see a few from below here? Yes, we can.
The third one he's done.
Just as I say, the Pulse comes running up, gets the C4, and that's exactly what I was going to say. They've been doing these C4 kills from below, and having the Pulse just makes it so much easier, and they've also got a lot of C4s on their side, so I think it's a really smart move. They've all fallen right back to side. They're playing this so smart. They know that they've done damage that, can really not be stopped by Team Ignition. And they're going to be looking to get match point as Koala Midia gets one on a Mystic. It's all on Tlor on the Ace, and there's really not much he can do. Probably just going to hide, try and pad his KD and look and talk things over with his team a bit. And the C4 from the left.
The booms, dude. This is insane. Boba Juba, like, legitimately more dangerous if he's playing a floor below you than if he's playing in front of you. Because that's the third C4 kill that he got and so far on the map. And that last one was just icing on the cake. And that Pulse pick was monumental in terms of providing them intel and providing them those kills with the boom booms there. And you really can't ask for a better defense. Like you said, because you said it when you were calling it, they played that really smart. That was just really well done. And a couple of kind of misplays as well. I like the Nomad, I think it was Reflex, just tried to walk onto the site like you said, and that was just never going to work. There was just somebody waiting for you with the shotgun, and you should expect that. It's pretty bold to think that you can kind of stroll in there. I know it's not, or it's not an area that people play that often, but yeesh.
Yeah, definitely quite odd. If we see the 6th pick from the Buck into the Buck, big brain plays as always. But yeah, like you said, it just really doesn't make sense. We saw it BEEG Yoshi on their offense being so coordinated and really moving together as a unit. But then we've got Team Ignition, who they just have their flank watch just try and walk into sight with no one nearby to refrag, presumably no drones, as they didn't even seem to know the mute was there. So just really not the same coordination, and they're just really falling behind now. At first this game looked like it was going to go back and forth, but so far Team BEEG Yoshi have just taken the lead and they're running away with it.
Yeah, and a lot of that is just down to the verticality. Like, actually, honestly, truly down to the verticality. There have been probably too many deaths to C4s from below to really justify. And I mean, the good thing about it is, it's early in the season. There are lessons to be learned probably from this and how Ignition wants to play, and maybe just stay away from Villa. I don't know, but it's definitely been rough, and you definitely feel like the wind has been taken out of their sails here on match point, and they're backs to the wall would be the best sort of idiom to use, quite literally.
Definitely, and they just look. Oh well, actually, as I
Oh,
say that,
well, there
nice
you go.
start actually. But Z quickly responds. They don't have a man advantage for long. But another run in.
Oh,
They're just not doing their droning, and all Big Yoshi has to do is sit around and wait, and they'll just walk into their open arms. And this is not looking good for Team Ignition. Z going for the spray and actually gets one on the flank. He's got master control again, as this seems like an inverse of the regular defense. We've got the attackers pushing in Astros. We've got, a nice shot from DeBank onto Z. Leaves us in a 2v2. Actually gain control again of the closet as, is KJax AFK? Or was that a drone?
I'm not sure. KJax was still outside. DeBank is just going for it, but I mean, it took him a lot of amount of time. Oh, KJax might actually be AFK or something.
Oh, that is
That's
really
kind of
rough for
tragic
Team
on match point.
Ignition. Match point and leaving DeBank in basically a 1v2. That is really unfortunate for Team Ignition. And I mean, it's great news for Big Yoshi as they're playing really smart. They've actually backed out of the bomb site, and they're going to try and what they're basically doing is they're letting DeBank have control. If he wants, he can try and push in, and then he'll have to try and put the diffuser down. But he'll try and peek long, and Tech shuts him down right away. Doesn't even get close to sight as the rest of the round might just wait out as KJax is just still on drone.
Taking in the air out there, the fine Tuscany air. Not
Beautiful
exactly what we
Italian
wanted to see.
countryside.
Beautiful Italian countryside. Yeah, don't look too hard at it the farther you get away, though. It does. I don't think they know necessarily that they're AFK either. I don't know. That might have been a bit of a joke of a smoke.
Chat,
he's AFK at Fountain. That's just that's a big rip.
Maybe he knew his team was gonna lose, and he's just looking to explore the nearby vineyards.
Yeah, he's looking for the next stop on the tour. Oh no! But I think you were kind of hitting on the right track here, cause as we wind this down towards Big Yoshi's big victory here on Villa. But I think you were kind of on the right track. There was a series. It felt like, and obviously it's a little hard for us to monitor from our perspective, right? But it felt like there was a serious lack of drone game on the side of Ignition, and I feel like that killed them. I'm not the smartest Siege player person ever to exist, and there are smarter minds than me who probably have better ideas, but to me it really seemed like they got slaughtered because they just weren't scouting things. They were kind of just face checking a lot and getting severely punished for it. Cool skin, though, Z, by the way.
Yeah, I definitely. They just did not have the right info, and it's a shame. Definitely. I have to call out the person in chat that just made the great joke of Ignition calls himself Ignition and they ran out of gas. That
oh no. Oh Lord.
I mean, it's very true. They just looked very deflated after those first few rounds, and I don't know, you talked about it before, but yeah, mental is very important.
Oh, genuinely, when you see like what was it, 3 people on your team get killed by C4s from below, and like, oh no, it was 2 in one round, but 4 overall. Yeah, that kind of stuff is just like, yikes, what do I even do? It always hurts at that level.
Yeah, and the toughest thing is that C4s they're not something you can really work around in the same ways that you'd work around something else in the game. If there's a special setup, then actually, I don't think we're on stream anymore.
Okay.
Sorry, there's a little confusion going on.
I have no idea, personally.
I don't know either, but I think we are about to have an interview with Koala Media.
Hi.
So, how are you feeling after that game?
Pretty fucking hyped, actually. It was really fun.
Was there ever a time in the game where you guys felt like you were in danger of that running away from you, or did you guys feel like you were pretty much in control the entire time?
We definitely felt like we had a very solid control of the game. There were 1 to 2 rounds that just felt a little bit sketch, like we stalled out a little bit too long, or we uh were just flunking on the execute. But other than that, we like definitely felt like we were destroying them.
Yeah, it was definitely fairly decisive. Did you guys feel that they weren't really being aggressive and basically just gave you guys lots of free room to do what you want and make plays?
hmm Yeah, so on our attack, they were swinging everything, especially early round. And then on defense, they definitely they would push into the same room multiple times, and they wouldn't check everything. They'd be a little bit too close to their drone, so they wouldn't have time. And I felt like that was really bad for them. Like we just were able to hold off angles and catch them off guard.
Oh, fair enough. Difficult question, but what was something that you felt like they were giving you a little bit of trouble with, though? Was there anything that they were doing particularly well?
Um, they were pretty good at stalling us out, especially on their AV defense.
Hmm.
We're not super used to playing against that specific hold they did, especially when they rotated some of their utility and held red with a Wamai. That definitely caught us off guard, but I think that we adjusted to it fairly well. So other than that, not especially. No.
I'll say you definitely adjusted to it well. It was a pretty decisive game, but what can we expect to see from you and the rest of your team going forward in the season?
I think we have some stuff to work on, but definitely a lot. Like we're for sure going to be one of those teams that can adjust and adapt to people, and I think we're coming out strong.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing it. Congratulations on your victory tonight. We appreciate you stopping by for the interview as well. Always good to get a little bit of player insight. And I think that pretty much does it here for us tonight. Cause, any final thoughts before we wrap up the broadcast?
No, I just want to say, thank you everyone for watching. It was a great night of games, and I hope to see everyone in the next few play days. We'll be seeing the same teams compete, and hopefully some more close games like today.
Indeed. Well, the final score, BEEG Yoshi takes the win over Ignition. You've been watching All World Gaming, Rainbow Six Season 1 here. I've been Corbeck, joined by Cause with Vortex and Schmitty handling our production side of things. Thank you so much for watching, and from all of us here at All World Gaming, have a wonderful evening.